Hello, hello. Alright, I figured out the tags didn't go in, but I think it's all good now. Maybe. I don't know how the tags work on a live video. I would assume they do work the way they should. Alright, now I have to go back to my channel. So it's interesting, even though the stream is live and it's working, it doesn't show up on the YouTube live stream studio. But it's working apparently. The only issue with that is I can't manage like the chat box or anything. Also learned that YouTube doesn't have a 900p option. So 900p works on Twitch. We had 0 dropped frames. Might have to go down to, well, it automatically is going down to 720 on YouTube. Might be able to go up to 1080. We can test that out. If I were to test it out now, I'd have to shut everything down and change it, so I'm not going to do that, but that's good to know. Alright. Yeah, so I can I pop out chat? Yes, I can. So I can see the chat in Streamlabs, but not interact with it, which is interesting. But it seems like everything is working. Oh yeah, they did launch emotes, didn't they? Cool. Yeah, YouTube is now, within like the past month, starting to compete with features. There's something else, another feature that YouTube announced. I forget what it was though. For their live videos. Anyways, market's happening. Make sure nobody's in, yeah, nobody's in the Twitch room. Cool. Let me switch over to here. 1 second. Reset the link. Just go down here. Because I logged out, logged back in. That makes sense. Maybe? No, it's just not showing up. Properties. There we go. Okay. Everything's working. Everything's working, and there's a few people in here. If you're live streaming web browser, go to YouTube live dashboard. That's what I want to see. No, I don't want all of you to see it. I want me to see it. Warning, please check the video resolution. Current resolution is 1600, which is not optimal. Oh, hey, it's working. Okay, the live dashboard is working. Cool. Create highlights. Add a stream marker. Okay, I could do everything like normal. Cool, okay. That's not optimal, so what is optimal? Higher than the recommended bitrate. Well, YouTube, I'm not picking my bitrate. So. All right. 2 likes as well. Thank you. I don't know who's liking, but thank you. Cool. It's working. Now let's just see if we can start getting some actual viewers. Like some brand new viewers. Is there a way that I could see the viewer list? Here we go, participants. Cool, cool, cool. What I also like is it gathers likes and engagement and all that live, and then when you upload it, it stays there. So if it gets like 100 likes while streaming, then when I finish the stream and it turns into a video, those likes all stay, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, it says Joe left. All right. Let's check the Discord. Haven't checked it during the daily morning routine. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see how things have moved since we last checked. LGVN is pulling back a little bit, still up 73% though. We're hovering around that 12 whole number mark. If it were to go up to 14 again, high of pre-market's 1445. If it were to go all the way up there, that'd be a pretty big stop. So we want to see somewhat of a move. We might not get an opening break over pre-market levels, but maybe a little bit of a move, a pullback, and then an OBO pattern. Nvidia, this one is up 1.3%. Didn't get that momentum that we were really looking for, but it has good volume. This one, we might find some sort of a trend channel play into the lunch session, that kind of thing. Actually down 3%, big spike. So it's no longer near that 4% mark. We'll see if it starts curling down, but we might have to take this one off of the watch list. INTU is still holding up here. This is a really expensive stock. I haven't checked actually if INTU has good options prices or not. We might just take this off because the majority of people watching this won't be able to afford it. INTU. Get old Intuit. All right, they do have options, and the options for next Friday's expiration, $800. Yeah, it's up there. I'll keep it just in case. Some people might be able to trade that. Some people might. It's not ridiculous. It's not like it's overpriced or anything. Oof, AMC coming down. I love to see it. All right. Where were we? Plug. Plug is pulled back a little bit from when we first added this to the watch list back here. Yeah, but it's making its way back up. Inverted head and shoulders nearly. We'll see if that can continue up. GTEC. Ooh, big spike. Okay, this is getting interesting. 8 minutes before the market opens. This has set a new high in pre-market and broke through 9-hole number. Was hoping to be able to take a break of 9-hole number as an opening entry. However, it already did that on a big green candle, high volume, nearly 400,000 shares traded on that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It needs to have a good setup. Maybe this is good, shows some good momentum, good volume, pulls back, and we could take the break of 930 possibly. With 10 as an obvious target, that psychological level. And then we have UWMC. This is up 20%, big spike, and then sideways. We want to see this we don't want to see this go sideways and choppy for the rest of the day. We want to see it at the open gain a bunch of momentum and volatility. If it doesn't do that, we take it off. Don't even bother watching it. Our watch list is already a little bit long, 12 or 13 stocks long. I like to keep it around 9 or 10, 8 to 10-ish maximum. So we're over that. Tusk, this one was making some big moves in after hours yesterday, but it's pulled back quite a bit. And actually it's pulled back quite a bit from 317 high of pre-market down to 251. So it does have room to continue its run that it had, but it also has a lot of bearish momentum carrying into the open. So we'll see. This one could get a little volatile. It could get interesting. Tilray. Tilray's a fun one to trade. I was hoping this would come up to 4% before the market opens, but it's not. It's hovering around 3%. So we'll see if that gets to that magic number. If it were to break over 1177 pre-market high, it would be up over 4%, which is why I added it to the watch list in the first place. But maybe it makes a decent move right before the open. We'll see. Riven is coming up near highs, 129.30. This is making a pretty decent move. It's up over 4% now, which is good. It was around hovering around like 350, 360 when we were last looking at it. It's up over 4% now, 4.23%, making a good move. A little bit of a trend channel coming down here, almost a wedge actually. 129.30 with that top. We'll see if, let's see, 129, yeah, it's not really playing around with 129 at all, but there's a double top at 129.30. So we'll see if it can play around with that level again at the open with a good setup, nice tight stop. Right now the stop is pretty wide, over 1 point, nearly 2 points. If the entry is 129.30, that'll be a $2.30 stop with the previous low down here at 127. Tricky, it's testing 129 right now, that whole number in pre-market. That's it. My AMC puts from yesterday are doing pretty well. Show you these really quick. Ooh, actually, big green candle spike right here. Its volume's coming in a little bit, but we're still hopefully holding below 40. I was liking this, staying down here at 39.80. This green spike isn't nice, but we'll see. It's still down 1% in pre-market. All right, how's this stream doing? Manage moderators, that's not what I meant. Participants. Do we have any participants in here? It's an interesting, they had to use a bunch of different words to differentiate themselves, but participants and members instead of viewers and subscribers, because subscribers on here means something different than subscribers on YouTube. Subscribing on YouTube is following on here. It's a whole mess. All right, am I able to see who's watching or no? I don't think so. Not in that window that I was in, at least. Now, if I go to, like, say, let me open up a private tab so there's no, like, cookies or anything, and just look up live stock trading. I don't think we're going to be on here. There's a lot of big people who already do their live trading. But it is good to know that the top 3 are actually live videos. We're not there though for some reason. What about stock trading live Friday, November 19th? Watch day trading live November 19th. NYSE and NASDAQ stocks live streaming. Okay, with the red dot. Ooh, I should do the red dot. A lot of people do that red dot to know that it's live. Okay. It's a little fruit fly that's been flying around. Haven't been able to get it though. Okay, so if I go here and I go edit video, is this how I do this? Feels a little clunky doing it this way, going into the actual YouTube studio. If I go here, I paste that red dot and I make live in all caps. Okay, and then save. That should have changed the title, correct? If everybody's refreshing and can see the new title. We have 4 likes already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Live, real money day trading and teaching. Friday, November 19th. Cool. We'll play around, figure out what a better title is, but I don't know if the tags are necessarily working. Those ones are. Okay, that's good to know. Cool. We're doing it. We're streaming on YouTube. No dropped frames. Good. And then I have to go over here. Participants. Joe's still in here. Cool. Sweet. You liked it? Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. LGVN coming down still. All right, market's opening here in a few seconds. How many seconds? Let me check. Market is opening in... Ooh, FDA clears Moderna and Pfizer's COVID vaccine booster shots for all U.S. adults. Interesting, that could affect those two stocks. All right, we have 15 seconds. How's PFE doing on this news? Up 1%. mRNA up 6%. Okay, this one is worth adding to the watch list and replacing Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia coming down right now out of the open. That's a messy chart right now. There we go. Okay, market is live. We're looking for OBOs mostly today with the market up. Well, the market sideways, but a lot more gap ups. Hey, Nano. Junior, I'm gonna have to call you Junior on here now. All right, GTech is making a move up over 930 is that level we're looking for, but we want a nice tight stop. We don't like these big wicks, but if you want to scalp this, you would get in over 930, get out like 950 and just take it. Maybe a stop under 9 whole number. So you'd be entering right now, you're in and you're out. You've already scalped, you made your 20-cent profit right there. Easy, and it rejected 950. Predict that one. So there's your win in GTech, your quick 20-cent profit. Trade that with 100 shares. Market order, you're in and you're out in less than a second. UWMC is coming down. Not doing anything. How's LGVN doing? It's coming up. We need a setup in this one, though. We don't have a pre-market level to break out over. GTech is still holding up. You can also take the break over 950 on the OBO. I would say exclamation point OBO, but you had to do that over in the Twitch chat. I don't have the commands over here just yet. You can also find it on Enlight's blog, the opening strategies. Okay, into coming down. mRNA, OBO, there it is. But that's a big stop. I don't like, well, let's scrunch this down a little bit. It's still a big stop. That's a 3-point stop. 270 though as a target. Let's see, we have pre-market high to get through, and then next support 278. Now let's see how important this, no, this pre-market high was not tested too much, but we're breaking down, we're coming down. Okay, looks like an OBD almost. Maybe a gap fill SPY is coming down, so that's going to bring a lot down. GTech is breaking. We have a hammer. It's about to break that 950. Again, it's hovering around that 930 level. Might be able to get another trade here. Another opportunity on the OBO and GTEC. I know some of you like these sub $10 stocks. Let's quickly cycle through. Plug OBO over this first candle. Stop under this wick. Take it up to... let's see, 42, not 1-to-1, so actually no trade there. Unless your stop is under the body, it wouldn't be 1-to-1. Tail right big wick. No real setup here though. Green candle in the market is bringing some things back up. See, Nvidia is coming down. Yeah, I'm happy to just remove this one from the watch list. It didn't end up making that run up. Oxy's super, super choppy. One of our only few gap downs. LGVN is halted on its way up. Okay, there's a halt in LGVN. Let me go into Twitter. This fruit fly's bothering me. Okay, LGVN halted. Over at, and then we could take this link. Cool. So LGVN is halted for moving more than 10% in the past 5 minutes. Market's only been open 3 minutes though. I got it. All right. So that one will come back up in 7 minutes. SEV, we want this one on its way down under 26 whole number, which actually looks pretty good. Stop over 2650. 50-cent stop, 50-cent target, and it triggered. That's quick, good breakdown level right there. Could even do 26.44 as the previous candle high as your stop right there. So 44-cent stop, and then your target's going to be low of pre-market down here at 25.16, and then 25 as a secondary target. That next whole number, you can see that's greater than 1-to-1, and you're already over your 1R level. So if you start panicking and you're thinking like, oh, this might not actually hit 25.16, you can take some profits off at 1R. You're guaranteed to have earned at least as much as you're risking. But don't get too scared. This one still has some good bearish momentum. Oxy, I was going to take this one off. Yeah, still taking it off. Cool. How is GTEC doing? It did end up breaking 950 again. Pretty wide stop, but you could set your stop around the whole number of 9. I don't love that. Yeah, just not a super clean setup. And if it's not clean, then not everybody is looking at the same thing. You're trying to trade with the herd here. So if it isn't very clear, then it's vague to everybody. All right, 263 is a breakout level in Tusk. It's actually not awful. Target 3 whole number would be a pretty massive trade if it works out. I'll plot it out on the chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Your entries over that high, another OBO setup. I like a stop under here, actually. This is the previous low. It pulled back. You can see it came down a little lower, but this is where the candle bodies and that green candle is resting on. If it were to break under this, I would think, okay, this is starting to trend down now, so I'd no longer want to hold this long. And then, before we expect 3 out of this one, there's some other levels that we could look at for pre-market SR, this being one of them. So that would be your first target as a support and resistance level in pre-market, and then your next one, your extended target at that 3 whole number. Just change the color on these. So that has potential to be a really big trade, but it already is greater than 1Rs here. It's about 1.5. So you've already made 50% more than what you were risking. Let's see how those AMC puts are doing. Big red move out of the open. See if that's, yeah, that is following through on the options chain as well. Missed the move to 150, hovering around 140 now. I'd like to sell this one around 190 though. The put, that is. That would be the stock, the equivalent of the stock going down to around 39. So that'd be breaking down under lows. Just one more breakdown in this one and we'll hit that level. LGVN is back up. So halts are very risky. Those of you who are thinking of trading this one. A lot of eyes are on this now. You can see volume is coming back up. A lot of eyes are on this because everybody's heard that this got halted. So a lot of people will watch this. It's up 94% though. So it has a lot of room to come back down. It's still below high of pre-market 1445. That would probably be the level that I'd want to see this break before I'd feel comfortable taking it. But normally you get that massive pullback after the second halt. After the first halt, everybody's attention is brought to it, and then they all trade it, they make their profits, they get out. But as it's running, it gets halted again, they don't get to get out. So after the second halt, when it opens back up and they're all trying to take their profits, they start selling it. It's after that second halt that the price usually comes back down. You can see it's breaking over highs now. So that is a possible trade if you're not too keen on using pre-market high as a level in your trade, then high of day would work as well. And that would get you in. I personally would wait. There's the 14 whole number in the way. You can see it's rejecting right there. And there's pre-market high. 2 levels of slight resistance that are blocking this from making a run. So I would personally wait a little bit Your reward to risk ratio is not going to be good if you do get in at this entry and it gets rejected at 14, but it is breaking over that level right now. Stop would be down here. And targeting this one is a little bit tricky because it's just making massive moves yesterday and today. All-time high was 1248, so it's just running. So whole numbers is going to be the key, and rounded ones like 5s and 2s. So you have 15 here, 16, 18, 20 will be the main ones to look out for. And there's enough of a dump to signal no trade in that one. All right, moving right along. Actually, both of these big moves, are these? These might be moving together. Are they? No, they're not. But they're both dumping together. And LGVN is halted again this time. GTEC also halted on the way down. So I definitely say stay away from those. You don't want to get caught out when it's dumping like that and then you haven't had a chance to get out. This is good for my AMC puts, however, because AMC is also falling, although it's testing low of day and it wasn't able to break through 39.66. These puts are hovering around $1.50. It's up 20% on that. Joe, if you're serious about learning the options side of trading, then you definitely need to take some time to really learn. Not just throw some money into the wind and get caught in time decay and all of that. It can easily blow your account if you don't know what you're doing. Not too sure what AMC wants to do here. Overall, still quite bearish on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, which is what I'm trading this on. I have next Friday's expiration, so no issue with any time decay. Not worried about expiration. Can let it sit for a bit. Tusk has also plummeted, but it did hit this first target. So in this one, we had the 2 targets, right? You could either sell 50%, sell 75%, sell some large percentage of the shares that you have at your first target, hold the rest until your next target, or stop out at break even. So in this case, it would look like you getting out 75% of your shares at $2.71, and then changing your stop from 257 to 263 at break even. So you're not going to take a loss on those shares. Since it already hit your target, you're correct at the timing, the direction, the distance that the stock was going to make. You don't need to get punished by taking a loss. So you set it to break even, but you were trying to maximize your win since you're not trying to predict the top, right? So you're trying to maximize that win, let it continue running with the remaining 25% of your shares. If it doesn't do that, you don't need to take a loss. So you can set that to break even. Or another way to do it is to hold all your shares if it's breaking through your target really quickly and you don't have time to do that to get out of 75% of your shares. You end up holding onto 100% of them, but you change your stop to that target. So as it continues to run up here, it comes up to 275, 76, 77, and then it falls back down and you get stopped out at 271. Absolutely, Nano. Yes, it can go, you could be up 40%, down 70%. Now you shouldn't be trading too much in things that swing from being up 40% to down 70%. It's a pretty big swing. But those percentages are realistic. And so one of the biggest rules when you're trading options is to limit, because you can't limit how the percentage. The whole point of options and why a lot of people trade them is because they are quite leveraged. So you can trade with a very small amount and make decent profits. the way you can control it is by only trading with a very small percentage of your account. Say you're trading with $1,000, you put $100 into a single options trade, that's only 10% of your account in that single trade. So even if it were to drop, say 20, 30%, that's really only 2 or 3% of your total account size. Junior, one thing that I noticed yesterday when I was purchasing those puts in AMC was, at least on Thinkorswim, I'm not sure how many brokers do this, but they didn't allow a market order on options on specific stocks. You're asking a question about market orders on options in TOS. I usually do get pretty good fills with them, especially if something is running and you're chasing it with a limit order penny after penny after penny, and you keep missing it, and by the time the move has already happened, you completely missed it. So market orders can be pretty good in that instance, but they do actually block some stocks from letting you enter with market orders. That might be to halt some of the volatility, because if a lot of people are just buying in with market orders, then the price can spike up really fast. But if you're forced to take a second and enter a limit order, then it slows down that volatility. That's not too odd. It's part of their terms of service, part of their protecting the volatility and the nature of things. It's not as severe as when the few brokers like Robinhood and Interactive Brokers were completely halting trading in those stocks. It's just when an options chain and premiums become too volatile, they manage it a little bit, where you can't trade with market orders because it's just the risk in that is way too high. So far, there's only that one trade. LGVN is back up. It's back to where we opened for the day. GTEC is live again. This one's still falling down. These are up 60%, 75%. A lot of room to fall back down. Not as much room to continue running. Unless they do gain a bunch of momentum and really run. That can happen. We've seen stocks go plus 800 to 1,000%. It's possible, but don't expect that by any means. It's much more likely that a stock that's up 70% will go down to being up 30 or 40%. Still a massive move, but if you were to enter, you'd be down 50% on your trade. All right, Moderna it did make a pretty good run. There's the issue with the OBO and the pre-market high, as well as 270. But there was a somewhat of a trade here. If that was your low and your target is 270, instead of trying to ignore that level, you set it as your target a few cents before, so you make sure you get in as it tests that whole number. That is 1-to-1 right there. That is valid. Had a market order out of Nvidia yesterday. Premiums were moving down too fast for a limit. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that market orders, when something's moving fast, especially in options on these premiums, and you need to get out quick, to use a market order. Nvidia is a very solid stock though, so it's more reliable to use a market order. In a stock like AMC, you can have an option go from being worth $1 to being worth 30 cents within 60 seconds if there's market orders flowing through. Without market orders, it moves a little bit slower. It's still ridiculously, like, it just spiked down from 155 down to 130 in one tick. from one trade to the next. Sorry, 153 down to 130. One trade was 153, the next was 130. That's a big difference. That's a drop of like 15%. If you put your entire account in that, and you're watching your account drop 15%, that's a big drop. mRNA testing that entry level as support now. Adobe's making a nice trend. Let's check it out. Adobe. I wouldn't say a trend, more so just a very choppy move. It's kind of curling a little bit. Nice run out of the gates and then sideways. It is breaking right now up over 693. What do you think about any of these upcoming IPOs? Which one? There's a lot of upcoming IPOs. IPOs have been doing really well over the past 12 months. Really, really well out of the open. Most of them have made a run in the first 3 days and then fallen back to their opening prices and then made another run. And then maybe 10% of them have made a run in the first 3 days, pulled back to where they opened, and then continued pulling back. But the majority of them have made pretty good moves. It's been a very good year for IPOs. No, there aren't any in particular. This one right here was the last one that I was interested in. Good old RIVN, to see if it's truly the next Tesla in terms of stock and overinflated prices, which, I mean, it went from 95 up to 180 in the first week. Nearly a 100% move. And then you can see it's pulled back. Let's see if it can pull back all the way to its opening price was 106. Let me get you the exact price. 106.75. SEV. Yeah, I mean, this also made a really good move as well. Up 115%-ish. This one we had that breakdown today. Because this is down 5% still. It's on its pullback day. It's LHGP. Is this one of the ones that's coming up? Because SEV that you point out, that already happened. This was a good IPO, but it's come down. It's actually curling back down now. This is interesting. Switch to the 2 minute really quick to see if there's anything. 5. There's no reversal pattern. Slight reversal pattern on the 2 minute chart. Maybe like a B- rating on that one. Because you do get the deceleration, you get the deceleration in volume. You have somewhat of a doji, but there's a little bit of a body there. It's still the idea of a doji candle where there's no move up or down. It's just completely sideways for the entire minute to set that candle. It is a little bit overextended since the open on a very bearish day. And then your target would be what the old stop was at 26.44. You could also do 27 as a first target, that whole number, that psychological SR level. And that is 1-to-1. That is 66. It's close. 66 cent target and 59-cent stop. So that's possible, but yeah, it's like a B minus, maybe even a C plus setup. So if your thermometer is really, really cooled down and you're just antsy to get into a trade, be careful with that one. Tilray is fully pulled back. This isn't making any moves. It actually has closed its gap. Just about. What was its close yesterday? Close was 1090. We were 1 penny off that. So it closed its gap and is bouncing off of yesterday's close now as support. We might be able to get a reciprocal move in this one, which would be, let me draw it out. The reciprocal move. Yeah, scrunch the chart down. The 50 right there. It would be down to 1042. From the high that it made today, the move that it made up to closing its gap, it's reciprocated in the opposite direction. It's mirrored. We call that a reciprocal move. It would come down to 1042. It's possible. On a longer time frame, this one, on the 1 hour, it's in a downtrend, but on the 4 hour, yeah, it's also downtrending, so it could definitely come down to that level. I know one trader who would like to take that, but he's not trading today. LGVN fully pulling back. Actually just going to delete these. Those are the two that got halted. AFRM short. What is AFRM doing? This has been a name on watch list for the past couple of weeks. It's a pretty good breakdown on the wedge. But there's not really a setup. If we draw on these lines, you get the breakdown and then the pullback is down here, but then if you're trading on this pullback, you have low of day and whole number 136 in the way, so that's not good reward to risk. You could wait for 136 to break. You wait for low day to break, but then you have 136 6 cents below. You want to make sure that breaks too. If you wait until this entry at 136, your stop is pretty far. Your target would be, let's check out the longer time frame, 132. Okay, so target 132, it's not awful. It's not awful in it, so that would signal for you to take the trade because it is good reward to risk. You take the trade and then you would hold it until it hits that target. If it doesn't, like right now, it's made a decent move. It's broken through. It has gone through a few whole numbers, a few minor support levels. It's broken through low of pre-market. So at this point, you can consider changing your stop to that 1 hour level. What price did you sell out of this one, Junior? I'm assuming you are talking about selling puts, if I had to guess. Looks like AMC is making a move again. Yeah, it is coming back down. How are all the cryptocurrencies doing today? Because I know a few of you like watching these. Bitcoin's up 2%. Pretty big move down. Remember this trend that we were watching? Didn't fully set up for the breakdown, but it did start trending down. Anyways, we're getting a pretty big move down. We have some resistance at 58,500 to watch out for. We have everybody's favorite altcoin right here. It's actually having a pretty good day, up 15%. Interesting. Are any of you holding this one? The Dogecoin replica. How is Dogecoin doing? It's up 6% today. And let me see what you're talking about. You slightly above 134. That's where you got out. Waited for 136. Okay, so you went through that same thought process of the break of 136. Very similar trade setup as the one that I marked up. And then you got out at 134. That's not a bad idea. Getting out at 134 isn't terrible. That's past your 1R level, which would be around 134.40. So it's the whole number right next to your 1R. And as it came down and it didn't continue the move down to 132, you got out. Remember, when you're in a stock this big, you have whole numbers, but every individual whole number, it makes a 1-point move in a single candle. So those 2s and 5s are stronger in stocks that are over $100. So 136, 134, 132, 130. So getting out at 134 would be the next major psychological level. Although 135 at that 5 is also decent. You can see that's why this candle here, this hammer candle, bounced off of it. I still think 132 might work out. Either way, I don't think you did a bad thing getting out at 134. It wasn't a terrible exit. Especially not if you're trading options on this one. It's usually best in options to get out on the initial break. If you're trading the stock and you're taking the short, being patient and waiting until it fully hits your target is a good idea. But with options, you have the volatility as a factor. And so when it makes that initial break, that explosive breakdown through the support level, usually the volatility will bring the option price higher than if you wait, this goes sideways for the next 20 minutes and then eventually trickles down to your target. You might not make as much profit there because the volatility isn't as extreme. SEV is making this move up. So this was the 1R situation we talked about earlier. Let me get the link. I have a link for you all, but it's on Twitch. Let me get this link. Sign up here. Oh, I can't do it in that. Where do I do it? Here. Here's the newsletter that's coming out later this evening. It's finally back after like 6 months. I just got a notification on my iPad for a new episode of a show that is listed on that I think some of you, I added it on there with a few of you in mind specifically. It's kind of interesting. Possibly because Google's analytics are just stronger in general, but the analytics that live streaming on YouTube gives is much more in depth than what you get on Twitch. On Twitch, you just get a live view count, and that's it until the stream has ended and they process everything. On YouTube, you get a live read of the average watch time of each user who's currently in here, the number of playbacks, so when somebody's gone back in the video and rewatched the part. Because you can also do that on YouTube, you can't do that on Twitch, or at least it's a setting, and I chose to turn that setting on where you can actually click back in the video and rewatch something as it's happened. He is a really cool guy, dude. Yeah, He's a great student, great learner. From where he started to where he is now is insane. He's crossing that threshold of consistent profits now, which is amazing to see. Yeah, it's awesome you guys hanging out in the voice channel on Discord. You know, that's always the best space for you all to just click in there. And if you are in there, somebody else will see that, and they're more likely to click on it as well and say hello at least. Whereas if nobody's in there, they're not going to, nobody's going to be the one to click on it. You know how the Discord is. There's a lot of followers in there, not many leaders. So yeah, I think I remember that day when you two were hanging out in there. One of you was just hanging out in there, and then the other person just joined it. That happens very naturally. Let me show you this move. It's hovering here, up 13.6% right now. Just testing out a few different rule sets with trades like these, because I know a lot of people who are learning how to trade options in a small account gravitate towards a stock like this. So I'm testing out a few different guidelines and rules that I want to teach in the next small account challenge that we'll be doing soon, hopefully. So far, things are going pretty good. Because what happened in the small account challenge with technical issues, that was just a nightmare. The internet cutting out and the rules that were in place on that account allowed for a lot of broker issues. Like, it ended up getting in, there's a rule of only getting into one contract, which I'm sticking to that rule in this next small account challenge, only entering one contract per trade, per stock. And then once the account doubled, I doubled that to 2 contracts. And then there was an error where the order didn't go through, and then it spammed the order and got into 2 contracts, 2 contracts, 2 contracts, 2 contracts, and it ended up getting into 10 contracts in a stock. And then right after that happened, my internet went out, and then my power went out, and then the stream cut out from that. And it was fully leveraged in 100% of the capital in that trade. It was just yeah, that's a nightmare of a situation. So figuring out some new rule sets so that doesn't happen to any of you who are trying to follow along. Like setting hard stops on options, which is usually quite risky because you can get stopped out really quickly before the move continues that you were hoping for, before it actually happens. It'll just wick you right out of that trade and then move without you. That's the worst, because then you end up, if it keeps happening back to back, you're getting a bunch of very small losses, but those add up, especially in options, because a very small loss in an option could be 5 or 10%, and those add up, especially in a small account. You can't lose 5% on numerous trades in a row, because you don't have the option to just keep adding capital to make up for that. So that's one thing that I'm playing around with to see if I want to teach that to you all, or if I end up getting stopped out of too many trades. Figuring out how far away to set those stops, for example. Here's a perfect example of, on a stock that's up, it was up around 10%, why you definitely want to take profits and not hope for when this is breaking through. Remember in Tusk we had that second target at 3. If you didn't listen to that and this is coming down and you don't have a stop loss and you're very relaxed in how you're trading, you're trying to trade on intuition and how your mind is feeling and trading on emotions and all that, and this comes up, it's making a really good move. It's breaking over resistance from pre-market. You could see pre-market, it went all the way up to 317. You have that 3 whole number. You have 310 resistance. You have a lot of these levels that are way up here. That would be a massive win. You start getting in your head how great this win would be. As it's coming down, you keep fantasizing about what could have happened, and it continues to go down, and you keep thinking, oh, but this could have happened, and before you know it, it's down too far. And most people, most beginner traders, when they get to that level where a trade is down too far, they just panic and don't know what to do. They don't do anything, and they just sit there until their account's completely gone. I've seen that happen live to numerous beginner traders. And they always have the same argument, but I thought it was going to go back up. Because I knew it. I knew when I entered the trade, I wouldn't have entered the trade if I didn't know it was going to go up. I knew it was going to go up. But it didn't. Bug is testing highs right now. 43.21 is high of day. We're over 43 again. Decent bullish pennant. A little bit of a wedge forming in this one. So in this, I would like to see not just a break of that high, but I'd like to see a break out of this wedge. You can see right here. Now it's locking on. A break out of this wedge and then a pullback. I don't want it to just break and then run and have a large stop. You want it to pull back, give you a nice tight stop. And with this, you also have the complication of high of day being right there. So we want to see this test high of day, reject in this area, pull back, and then break upward. It's similar to the TCB strategy, the trend channel breakout strategy, just with a wedge instead of a channel. I mean, you could even draw this as a channel, but that'd be slightly different direction. Because that wouldn't be breaking out of the channel anymore, it'd be continuing it. Do you think people in the dark triad would have a hard time day trading due to their impulsiveness? Well, just because you have some dark triad traits, or you are high on a scale of dark triad traits, doesn't mean that you're necessarily impulsive. And impulsivity can be good in trading, and it could be bad if it's not controlled, obviously. But no, if what dark triad is Machiavellian, it is narcissism, and it is being a psychopath, meaning you don't have any empathy or emotions for other people, and so you will end up hurting people because you don't have it. You can't comprehend that you are hurting them. Here's the trade really quick while I answer this. In plug, target 43.50. So breaking those down, you have Machiavellian, which is conniving, mischievous, kind of telling lies or stringing along tales to get what you want. Manipulative is a word used. It's often associated with it. That's not necessarily impulsive. If you are high on a scale of Machiavellian traits, then you might tell yourself stories about what's happening in a stock more than somebody without that trait. So you might, yeah, it's difficult because it doesn't really, Machiavellian doesn't really play into yourself that much unless you have multiple personality disorder or something like that. And then narcissism, you might get caught into a mindset of I'm always right and the other people trading this are wrong. That can get you caught into a trade holding onto it for too long as it's going against you, because you think, oh, there's no way I'm ever wrong, so I'm going to hold on to this, and your money's all gone. And then psychopathy, I don't think that plays in too much into trading. It's a good thought experiment. No, because you're not really, as much as you are trading, there's always somebody on the other side of a trade, right? When you make money, that's because somebody else lost money. You're taking their money essentially. So they might receive some pleasure out of that, maybe some chemicals released in their brain on that idea, and they might focus on that a little bit too much. They might focus on the idea that they're taking money from others as opposed to making money for themselves. That could play in a little bit, because then they get aggressive, greedy. The more money they make in a trade, the more money they're taking from somebody else, and so they might also hold on to trades too long. But both of those go against your idea of impulsivity. Dark triad traits are very behaviors are often quite premeditated and not impulsive. Maybe narcissism is more impulsive. Yeah, I'll check it out. It probably is pretty calming with his voice. This stop and plug, by the way, would be under 43 whole number, just to give it that extra factor of support. And so this would be a 29-cent target at a 21-cent stop. So it is at least 1-to-1 if this doesn't work out. It doesn't work out, that's fine. It's kind of going against the general trend of the market. But it's not too bad. No dropped frames, that's good. We haven't had any major technical issues. What happens if I... Average watch time 9 minutes, nice. Stream health, everything is good. Just warning me to check the resolution, because the current resolution isn't optimal for YouTube, which is fine. Can see who's in. Oh, another thing I want to check is if I go to, I'm going to do this in a private browser again so that it's not just suggesting my channel because it's me. I look up live day trading. What does that pull up? Watch day trading live, day trading room, trade ideas scanner live. Interesting. Streamed 23 hours ago, not live. Ours is not up here. Live stock trading. Okay, live trading in light, what does that do? It doesn't even show our live. Oh, it does, there it is. But there's somebody else's above it who has 100 views. Our thumbnail's better. So the guy that was making threats to is possibly. No. That was more bipolar disorder and alcoholism. It wasn't really much narcissism. Did you all get a chance to sign up to that list, by the way? Mailing list? Inlight Weekly? If you haven't signed up yet. Some of you are already signed up though. So you might already be signed up, but if you haven't signed up yet, now's the time to do it, because after this stream, as soon as I shut down this stream, I'm gonna make some food. And then I'm going to send that out. I think it's automatically set to send out in about an hour and a half. Junior, I can see you are not on the list. You're on the Indiegogo list, but not on the mailing list. So if you want to receive Inlight Weekly every Friday, 5 little bullet points, 5 little tips of like cool things that I've experienced throughout the week. Like, I'm Number 1 on the list is going to be this notebook that I use as my trade journal. Highest quality notebook you can get. And other things. Yeah, Junior, that might have also been a factor. For sure. Either way, it was not safe. Let me get you that link again. Just in case you wanted to sign up. Maybe you didn't, that's fine. But just in case. Don't want you to not sign up just because you didn't have the link, you know? There it is. In my weekly coming out every Friday at noon Eastern time. Streaming on YouTube's interesting. It's different. It's very different. And plug has hit the target. Nice. Nice wedge breakout. What's AMC up to? Not good. Losing profits on this one. Let me see what the stock chart's doing. Slowly trending up. Yeah, it doesn't really know what it wants to do. Let's cycle through the watch list one more time. And then maybe wrap up the stream here. We've been on YouTube for an hour and a half nearly. And I was on Twitch for an hour-ish. 2.5 hours. Says something went wrong submitting the form. Did you enter everything correctly? Yes, I want to leave YouTube. Yeah. Something went wrong. What went wrong? What could have possibly gone wrong? Did you get it working now? I have a backup if that doesn't work. But that should work. I tested it and it worked for me. Could you put it in Discord? Yeah. Well, I mean, you could just type it in the URL, inlighttrading.com/weekly. Did I post it in Discord? I did post it in Discord. It's in the general chat. Plug is still going. There's plug, and then what was the other one? Tusk? Yeah, Tusk on the OBO. I like that plug trade better. There's more to it. But Tusk had a nice OBO. Were you able to get it? Yeah, still not working for some reason. There. I posted in Discord a backup link. The backup should definitely work. Absolutely, definitely work. Except it's not working right now with my VPN. But that should work. I think it's just not working because of Google. The backup is not working? The backup link has to work. Check your internet. Do you have like pop-ups blocked? I don't think that would be part of it, but it worked for me. I'm sure somebody else in here who could test it out. Everyone's coming back down. What's Sev doing? Nothing really. When you open that other link, what happens? You got it? Okay, good. Cool. Had to update profile. Update profile. Update profile. Don't know what that means, but I'm glad it's working. Let me see if it added you. I don't know. You said you submitted. Did you submit? Have you, like, it's fully submitted, you got the confirmation message and everything? Nice move and ship. Oof. 20%. Look at that. Hitting that upper trend line though. Not sure I was already signed up before. Just had to update profile, whatever that means. Yeah, so I think MailChimp is smart enough to know that you already had that you're already in the audience. Like you've already signed up to something that Inlight has, and what that was Indiegogo. So it seems like it's smart enough to have let you update your account to add a new tag so that you can get onto the mailing list, I believe. Although it didn't go through, it didn't add the tag to your name. I can do it manually, of course, which I'll do, but it is interesting to know. don't think it's adding a tag to the people who sign up. I know what I'll have to do. All right. Anyways, you're all set. You'll receive it. Let me. I think it's on Webflow's end and not on Indiegogo's end. But added a tag. You're all good. Good to go. What's happening here? Curling. Bit of a wedge that we broke out of. Like this. This could break down. But it might not. I'm going to do one last cycle through the watch list and then we'll wrap this up. This little test of YouTube. Other than on my end, I don't think there are many changes. What was your experience finding the live video, using the chat box? Is the video quality? I know it's only going up to 720. But we didn't have any dropped frames, which is good. But it wasn't like there was some spike of viewers from using tags and the whole YouTube algorithm. So there might be something behind the scenes that they look at how many streams you've done before actually promoting any of them. That would make sense. They don't just put somebody who's it. They think that it's my first stream, that I haven't done this for at least 600 hours. So they don't want to just promote somebody who it's their first time clicking live. But then again, it might be based on subscribers. Maybe that's a factor. Ribbon's coming up, but no setup. Plug, great move. Secondary target at 44 is hit. And that is easily trade of the day there. INTU, no setup, curling down as a gap up might start to close some of its gap. Even a possible trade here on this breakdown out of this wedge down to low of day. Will would love that trade. Oh, congrats on outpacing the market. Yeah, those are fun notifications. But it's also like, I don't know, it's kind of, not to take anything away from it, but it's kind of meaningless. What does outpacing the market mean on a day-by-day basis? It's like, you outpaced the market in the past 12 months? Well, the past 12 months is slightly arbitrary, because market performance is an average. It's quarter based, so it'd be based on a normal calendar year normally. So if it's based on the 2020 market, then that's one extreme that they're comparing all of their users to, which they wouldn't want to do because 2020 the market did amazing. 2021 as well. I think it said, I don't know, what was, I forget when I got that notification. What percentage did it say that you outpaced the market by? Or did it just say that you outpaced the market? Because if it said something, I believe it was possibly inaccurate. Either way, that's kind of along the lines of what the Inlight app is going to do down the road, not in this first iteration, but in the next, as features get added to it. is look at your trading and have a lot of notifications like that. Not just your performance compared to the market, your performance compared to people on your friends list or whatever, but also your performance compared to yourself. So it will tell you, hey, you're performing significantly worse this week compared to your average. Something's going on. Take a step back, figure it out. It's nice to have just that little tap on that shoulder of accountability that something's going on, that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for a mentor to tell you something like that. But if you want to pay me an arm and a leg, I could use an extra and I'll mentor you. Downward trending channel in Moderna right now that broke out. So possible TCB in this one. Did have the opening breakout, but we also have a possible trend channel breakout as it's pulling back. We'll see where the entry is. It's almost going to be the exact same trade as the initial one. The entry is just a little bit lower, and the target would be a little bit lower as well. The target might be the same, 270. So that might set up. That's one for you all to watch while I'm gone. What else do we have? Only a few left. Tilray. Nothing in there. It's closed its gap, but it didn't make any reciprocal move or any breakdown or anything like that. And then our one gap down SEV, we had the OBD out of the open and nothing else. Spiked up and then slowly trickled down. So there's nothing there. So that's it. That's the market. That was 1R in SEV, 1.2R in Moderna. So that's 2.2R total. There was a 1.2-ish R in Tusk. So it's 3.4. There's a trade in Plug. This was traded of the day. This is, what is this? 20 cents, 80 cents, 4R. So that's up to 7.4R total. Is that everything? 7.4R on the day. With this Plug trade, obviously being the trade of the day with 4R, not just because of the profits, but because of the setup. It was a pretty clean setup. Probably give this one like an A-. It'd be nice if this came up, tested this yellow line, this high of day level, and then pull back with a red candle, but you can't get everything absolutely perfect. A- is still a really good setup. All right, well, if you have any other questions, I'll have Discord open. If you have any stocks you want me to look at, let me know. I can check them out. We can still chat, send screenshots, figure out, let me know if there's any setup that you're looking at that you want any opinions on. I still have, yeah, I still have all these. Cool. You see the sun is starting to go down. Yeah, thank you everybody for bearing with me testing out YouTube. Not sure, I will probably, because this test didn't give that much in terms of results. Might have to do 3, 4, 5 of these before the YouTube algorithm actually kicks in, and then we'll see. Maybe do this for like stream exclusively on YouTube for a few weeks, maybe a month. See how much it grows, how big the streams get, how many viewers, how many concurrent viewers the streams get, and go from there. Yeah, that's true. Junior, you can't use those yet. Not on here. I think I have to figure out uploading them. I don't know if I even can upload custom emotes on YouTube unless I reach some certain metrics on subscribers or viewers. I don't know. I'll have to look into all that. No worries, Joe. That's right. We'll try this again in the next stream. I think we'll do exclusively on YouTube for a few streams. Give it a chance to work out to have the algorithm do its thing. And then if not, we'll go back to everything that's normal on Twitch. I still like Twitch better in general, the community, the atmosphere. I mean, they are the live streaming platform after all. But you just can't beat having that YouTube and Google algorithm promoting your live video. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I will see you. I don't have a clear schedule, so I don't know when I will see you live next, but I'll let you know in Discord. Easy way to get a hold of me. Don't forget to sign up to that newsletter. I have this pasted. I'll paste the backup link. You can sign up to that before it goes out in an hour. All right. See you all on Discord.